What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well despite the choppy market conditions and the fear and greed index hitting all-time lows. I am back from a 1.5 week trip to Japan with my friends where I indulged into Japanese culture, tried out their delicious food, and most excitingly, for a guy like me that grew up in the Italian mountains, to do some powder skiing over there. But yeah, now I'm back fully committed to lock in over the next weeks and months and share with you my journey into the MetaDAO ecosystem, provide you with all the latest updates around ownership coins and what's going on in the Futardio landscape. So without further ado, let's directly jump into today's episode, which I dedicated to the monthly update that Prophet shared with us on Twitter, which is all about learning fast, iterating fast, and just staying around, sticking to your primitives, values, and not give in to the harsh market conditions. To kick things off, I would like to share with you some insights that Prophet, the co-founder of MetaDAO, shared with us in his 8th monthly update called Learning Fast. So here is an overview of what he shared there. So initially, he always kicks these monthly reviews off with everything the team has completed or managed to achieve over the last month. And first of all, there was the Hurupay race, which unfortunately failed, but more details on why it failed and the learnings the team took away from it in a second. Furthermore, the team aided various teams within the MetaDAO ecosystem to negotiate their buyback proposal and execute them successfully on chain. Third, they started to ship permissionless ICOs, which should go live by the end of February, and this might be a major catalyst for MetaDAO and the entire ownership coin ecosystem. Another point that they achieved throughout the final month was to finalize the market maker agreements, which should have been done earlier, but now it seems that the Meta token will finally be listed on centralized exchanges as well, opening access to the token for more investors out there. Then they sent an audit to the Mint auditor, which I will explain in a second, and continued other audits, just making sure that their entire infrastructure for launching ownership coins is battle tested and secure. And then we saw another coin out there migrating from being purely a governance coin into becoming a ownership coin. Then, in the second part of the report, Prophet shared their top-of-mind priorities for the upcoming month, which is first, the launch of their permissionless launchpad, second, to closer align token holders with their founders and weed out toxic token holders, and finally, to improve the buyback UX for teams. And now let's go step by step over these single points. Let's kick it off with a short review of the Hurupay ICO, which many of you might know that unfortunately failed. So Hurupay is a global fintech / stablecoin bank which facilitates cross-border payments for individual but also businesses, and they wanted to raise $3 million via the MetaDAO ICO platform, but unfortunately this launch fell short and they were only able to get up to 2 million of commitments, hence the minimum of 3 million was not achieved and the ICO failed. And this means that no Hurupay token was generated and everybody that committed funds to this ICO has been refunded 100% of their committed USDC. But what went wrong? Why did this ICO fail? It was the first ICO that failed in the history of MetaDAO, and there were some external factors at play. It has been the biggest market correction since 2022. Just think back 2 or 3 weeks, Bitcoin dipped to 60K and everybody was in shambles, max fear and pain out there. And other projects trying to raise on other platforms fell short, as well as we saw with Magic Block that failed to close their ICO, or Flying Tulip that only was able to fill 5% of the requested funds they wanted to raise on CoinList. On the other hand, we have internal factors that could have been played better or it didn't work out as planned, and that's another reason why I highly resonate with Prophet and the entire MetaDAO team. They're always trying to be critical of what's going on. They're trying to constantly reiterate their product offerings and don't shy back in sharing critical feedback of everything that they messed up. So the first thing that the team slightly messed up, where they could have done a better job, is to host roadshows for their curated project launches. So the team said they should go out to liquid funds and just gauge the sentiment of the project that is raising funds and how much demand there is before they offer it to the public to participate in this ICO, similar to what happens when public companies go live on stock exchanges. There is always this pre-book building where they're just trying to gauge the sentiment, and this is an area where the team can improve. Another factor why this ICO failed is that there's a lot of uncertainty around ownership coins. Many people and investors out there still are unfamiliar with the concept of ownership coins and don't know what rights ownership coins entail and what it basically means to hold a ownership coin. And that's also my mission here, or my goal with this channel, to explain to the world out there and to you guys why ownership coins are superior to utility coins or just governance token, and what kind of rights they entail, like full control over the protocol's IP, full control over the protocol's treasury, and all future cash flows. And finally, number 3, the market arguably rejected the new experiment of having uncapped races, and people were just confused and uncertain about the final valuation of this protocol, because Hurupay was the first project that opted into the uncapped token launch feature, which basically means that all the committed funds would go to the team's treasury to prevent all the shenanigans that happened in the past with polymarket markets that were spun up, basically predicting or betting on the amount of capital that was committed to every single ICO. But now let's move on to the most exciting news shared by Prophet in the latest monthly report, which is permissionless launches. And now he shared some more detail with us what's going to happen. So the launch date should be the end of February, so pretty soon, within the next 10 days. Most likely the permissionless launches will go live on MetaDAO. And what they did, they created a new separate brand, which is called Futardio, to differentiate between team-picked launches, which will continue to launch on MetaDAO, and then all the permissionless launches, which are less vetted by the team, but it's just easier for everybody out there, entrepreneurs or teams that have been working in crypto for years, but also outside of crypto, to just raise some funds via internet capital markets. They can do that now via Futardio, just raising USDC from folks like you and me out there that are willing to take the risk and support these entrepreneurs. And think of Futardio as a mashup between MetaDAO and Pump Fun. So it should be as easy as launching a coin on Pump Fun, but with the ownership securities of MetaDAO and ownership coins, where people launching coins cannot rug investors, since ownership coins are fully controlled by the token holders. They have full control over the IP, the treasury, and all future cash flows. And I think the launch of Futardio might be a major catalyst for MetaDAO, since now launching a ownership coin has become 10x, if not 100x, easier. Here, Prophet shared a few more informations about the go-to-market strategy. So first, they are trying to develop a killer launch video to just attract some eyeballs and a lot of attention towards the launch, which is currently in progress. Second, they are looking for high-fit projects and are trying to convince them to raise first via Futardio, the permissionless version of MetaDAO. And they're currently talking to 2 teams, but I expect other folks to participate there as well and just raise a little bit of money for their side projects. And another thing that I think might happen is that folks will launch meme coins via this new permissionless launchpad. But this will be the first meme coin with full ownership, where the token holders hold the right of the IP and the money they raised. So this might just create this interesting dynamic where the IP is worth more and token holders are part of the team and they might contribute in different ways. So definitely exciting times ahead. And then Prophet said he will just DM a bunch of trenchers on X to participate in these ICOs. And here's another tweet that I wanted to share with you, which I resonate with, from Nick, a investor. And he said he's super excited about the launch of Futardio, this new permissionless launchpad, because the industry has been plagued by token holder misalignment for years. And now finally we have this launchpad that ensures that token holders are protected and all the stakeholders are fully aligned. And Futardio is just a credible attempt at solving the biggest issue crypto faced until today, which is this basic or this underlying misalignment between token holders and investors, since token holders have no right over the future cash flows of the business they are investing in, and they have no control or no say whatever happens to the protocol treasury. And ownership coins are finally solving this, and now it should be super straightforward to raise money via the internet in a safe way. Next up, negotiations with market makers have finally been finalized, and 3 market makers have been onboarded to provide liquidity for the Meta token in various instances. So one market maker will provide on-chain liquidity, on DEXs on Solana, and then there are 2 market makers that will provide liquidity on centralized exchanges. And as you might know, MetaDAO is currently not available on any centralized exchanges, so it's pretty hard to get a hold of the Meta token unless you live in the trenches like we do. So you can only buy Meta on Solana DEXs, but soon, yeah, Meta token will be live on 2 centralized exchanges, and this might lead to a short price bump for the Meta token, since yeah, it becomes just 10x easier to buy the Meta token, and the token becomes accessible to many more investors out there. Or it might also be that, you know, some people that are holding the token for a very long time, they can now finally tap into broader markets and just dump a little bit of Meta on centralized exchanges, but I doubt it. But yeah, guys, curious what you think. Let me know in the comments below whether this is positive or negative for the Meta token. And as Prophet said, it has taken longer than he expected to engage with these market makers. But yeah, now we're coming closer to the finish line, and I expect MetaDAO to trade on centralized exchanges by the end of February or early March. Cool. Another feature that Prophet shortly discussed in his recent blog post is the Mint Governor. To give you some background here, all the coins that are launched via MetaDAO, which are ownership coins, they are fully sold to the community or just early investors, and the team has no skin in the game at start. So even if 3 years, 5 years pass, the team does not get any token unless they increase the price of the token. And how it usually works, the first 20% of the tokens for the team members are distributed to them the moment they do a 2x from the initial ICO price. Another 20% will be unlocked after 4x, then 8x, 16x, and 32x. So only if the initial token price goes up by 32x, the team receives their full allocation, which is usually between 30 and 50% of the entire supply. And this leads to this issue that those tokens are pre-minted and artificially inflate the FTV of those tokens. Umbra is a cool example here. If you currently look up the Umbra token, you see that there is an FTV of 21 million, but only 1/5 of the Umbra token is accessible or liquid out there. So all the future tokens, they have theoretically are not in circulation, but they have been pre-minted, and there is no guarantee they will ever enter into circulation. And this just makes this token less attractive for investors because they see this high FTV, but there is no guarantee that these tokens will ever enter into existence, unlike other tokens out there where the team just waits for 2 or 3 years for their entire tokens to unlock. And now they are working on the solution, which is the Mint Governor, which makes for dynamic minting. So if the token price goes up for 2 or 4x and remains at this price over 3 months, then these tokens will be dynamically minted, but only if these price milestones are met. And this just lowers the FTV, and the FTV just goes up. If the price goes up, then these tokens can be minted. And this system is currently under audit to ensure security. So I think this feature will roll out pretty soon as well. Another exciting development, which I personally like a lot, is that Flashtrade, a perp stacks on Solana, is the first token that migrated from a governance token into a ownership coin using MetaDAO. And that's another major catalyst to watch out for, guys, because I just think that ownership coins are fundamentally superior to utility tokens or just governance tokens, because they come, if you remember, with full control over the IP, the treasury, and all future revenues. And there are many other projects like Drift that announce they will migrate to a ownership coin based token model later this year. And now finally, Flashtrade and their FAF token was the first protocol that took that leap. So it will be easier for other folks like Drift to follow their path. And this is the perfect transition into what I call the ownership coin Supercycle, which is uniquely enabled by MetaDAO and their new token standard, which are ownership coins, because ownership coins are finally tokens that are worthwhile owning, and they finally revive the owner's mentality so that investors like you and I can finally hold on to tokens for more than just a few months or days. You know, all the trenchers out there that hold coins for no longer than 1 minute to make a profit, and generally the industry has proven out to just punish long-term holders, because why would you hold anything else other than Bitcoin for an extended period of time if the team is just rugging you, VCs are dumping on you, and you have no right on future cash flows? But ownership coins are now fighting these misaligned incentives and make people believe again and hodl on for multiple years if they believe in a team that they can deliver what they promised. And yeah, this will just save crypto from mediocrity. And I think over the time, as the ownership coin model will be proven out, more and more people are forced to move into the ownership structure. Otherwise, the market will just punish them relentlessly. And this also ties perfectly into the internet capital markets, as 𝗪𝗵𝗁 outlined here. He said we can't have tokens without token holder protections. And that's exactly what ownership coins are, since they come with native token holder protections and property rights. And we can't have internet capital markets without tokens. So it's like the chicken and egg problem. First, we need tokens in order to have internet capital markets. But if those tokens are shitty and don't give you any rights to the underlying business, their IP and all the cash flow it is generating, then we have this inherent flaw. But yeah, I think that MetaDAO is finally solving it. And 𝗪𝗵𝗁 continues, he doesn't know one single more pressing problem for the future of our industry. And that's the exact issue that MetaDAO and ownership coins are trying to solve with unruggable ICOs and just bringing back property rights and full ownership of the underlying business to token holders. I know the markets have been super brutal lately, and most people just surrendered or gave up, threw in the towel, and probably won't come back for a very long time. And most projects' ecosystems will inevitably die. But yeah, this is exactly the time to stick around and to figure out where the industry is headed to then emerge in the next bull run as winners. And I truly believe that MetaDAO is one of these projects that has good odds of surviving this bear market and come out at the other side as big winners. And as we see here, Marcus Bigford, a contributor to MetaDAO, he says that yeah, everything seems to be super bad out there, and big contributors like 𝗬𝗪 and Vitalik are boasting more about politics, AI, rather than crypto. But things are cooking in the MetaDAO ecosystem, and their development has not slowed down behind the scenes. He said the quality of projects in the immediate pipeline and the existing projects that are transitioning to the ownership coin model, as we've seen with Flash Trade Drift, he says that there are many others that will do the very same transition over the next couple of months, is super real. So yeah, all we have to do as of now is to weather the storm and not give in, because eventually the sun is gonna rise and we will have more bright days very soon. Talking about weathering the storm, we have built this premium community for all of you out there, guys, which is called Onchain Trenches Plus, which is a private community with like-minded folks, on-chain trenchers, DeFi natives, and just folks that are passionate about crypto investing. But we are also diving into AI, macro, and much more. And yeah, we recently lowered the price of our premium community over 75%, and we lowered it down to $9 a month, or even cheaper if you sign up for a longer period of time, because we think now is the crucial time to not give up. And we just want to form this community of people that refuse to give up and that refuse to think that crypto is just meme coins and nothing else. And those are exactly the times where yeah, we just come together, have private discussions without all the noise out there. It is a genuine place where you can check in once a day to discuss the latest developments. I share my personal portfolio holdings out there, and everything that is going on in the MetaDAO ecosystem, but also in Zcash, the privacy narrative, and on the AI/crypto intersection. And more recently, Mike, the HODL wizard, joined me to level up our product offerings at Onchain Trenches Plus as a core contributor, and I'm super excited to have him. He will contribute with his unique insights into trading analysis and just his overall macro understanding of everything that's going on in the world and how it will impact crypto prices. But moreover, he's an avid and super keen DeFi user. He will share different strategies and video tutorials how you can put your stablecoins to work to earn yield throughout these choppy market periods, or how you can use your long-term holdings to generate a little bit more yield on top. So if this sounds compelling to you and you want to join our premium community, you can find the link to it in the show notes below. And be aware that these prices are limited. The moment we hit 50 users, we will double them. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you got some value out of it. And to support my channel, please make sure to obliterate the like button and subscribe to this channel. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the on-chain trenches.